Hello, I'm Wes, and today I want to discuss the occult. Now, if your first impression of this is that the occult is evil, then you're ignorant. I'm sorry, but occult means hidden. Doesn't mean evil, doesn't mean bad, and if there is a lot of ignorance about this word, meaning, and what it is, and if the word ignorant bothers you, and you say, I'm not ignorant, or I don't need to know that, that is the height of ignorance. Because everyone's ignorant. Nobody knows it all. I don't know it all. You don't know it all. And if you think you know it all, that is the height of ignorance. Because everybody's ignorant about a subject, unless you think you know it all. And if you think you know it all, that's the pinnacle of ignorance. And another very ignorant thing to say is, I don't need to know that. Knowledge is power. So what you're saying is, I don't need any power. I can be ignorant, and I don't need knowledge. That's, what can I say? Turn it off now and, continue living your life in ignorance if that's what you want to do. Some people are happy that way because ignorance is bliss. You don't have to have knowledge, and someone will take care of you. We live in a society that is compassionate, so you can do that. But the fact is, the word occult comes from occultus, meaning hidden. That's all. It's just hidden information and knowledge. Not evil. So let's get into that. Let's discuss it because it's important. Knowledge is power. Anyone who tries to tell you, don't listen to them, don't listen to them, don't listen to them, listen to me, is not helping you at all. They're trying to keep you ignorant by not getting knowledge. I'm telling you, listen to me, listen to them, listen to them, and listen to them, listen to everybody. Get all the knowledge you can. That's where power comes from. And knowing this should make you realize why stuff is hidden sometimes, because people that want power, they need to know more than you. That's the way it works. So if you want to know what the occult is and what's hidden, because there are secrets in life, and doesn't necessarily mean people are keeping things from you. It's just because you're not looking, you're not listening. You don't want the power and you don't want to know. So the occult is knowledge that is hidden for the reasons I'll explain later. Whether it's hidden on purpose or not is irrelevant. It's information that the average person does not know. And this information can be used for good, which we would call the light occult, or dark occult, which would be using this knowledge for evil, for selfishness and greed, to rule over you. And it's been done. It's in our society. And you might be able to imagine why some people in the past would have been targeted for teaching this. And why people are ridiculed. Because the people that want to keep you ignorant don't want you to know the stuff I'm about to tell you. Because they want power over you, and knowledge is power. So now it's time for you to get some power. What is hidden? What is this occult information that is hidden and that's a big secret? Well, it's very difficult because it's really about your perception of the world and how you view it. Because there's more going on that meets the eye. And if you're not aware of it, you won't see it. And to view the world in this perception takes a lot of thought, a lot of work, and it is not easy. I'm not saying it's easy to figure out this hidden information. It's not. Because you have to break down old thought patterns and lies that you've been living and to see things from a different perspective. Because the world has two perspectives, and I guess that's one of the hidden secrets, because most people only see one side. And when you can see both, you can see the true picture. And so this is knowledge about yourself, your mind, and the world we live in. All right, that this occult information that is kept and is used by light occults like churches and dark occults like Satanist groups. They all use this knowledge, both of them groups use this knowledge. But what I got to make clear is dark occults that use this knowledge for their own interests, selfish interests, not in your best interest, can sometimes be churches where everybody goes to and gives all their money to, and they build themselves big houses and keep you dependent on them, keep you ignorant and tell you not to listen to these other religions, just listen to them. Be very aware and beware of them. Anyone that's telling you not to listen to other people, because they want to keep you ignorant. There's a reason why it's hidden, because, this has been ancient knowledge is what we're talking about. This has gone on for thousands and thousands of years. That's what all religions are based upon. The reason religions fight so much is because some want to give you the information and are working in the light, and some are working in the dark for selfish reasons. And you are the only one that can determine the two. Once you find out what the information is, and you look at each group and see what they're using it for. Is it a selfish, or are they giving you something, giving you knowledge? Now, when I say things are hidden, I don't necessarily mean that they know the truth and they're hiding it from you. They could be ignorant and they just don't want you to believe, and they want to keep you ignorant, just like them. So they don't want you to believe this other knowledge. So ignorance wants to keep you ignorant too. They will condemn people with different beliefs, and because they don't want knowledge, they don't want you to have it either. So that's one of the reasons why this information is hidden, and it's occult. The other reason it could be hidden is because this knowledge in the hands of people that want to use it for evil, and it's in the hands of people that want to use it for evil. So we can understand why when someone is not ready to receive this information, they can have power over people that is not good for society. It's not even good for themselves, but they don't know that because they're ignorant and they're just using information without knowledge about it. Now, I said it was about perspective of the world and how the world is, and this two sides was displayed in the movie, the book Alice in Wonderland, how there were two sides to the looking glass, and there were two different worlds. And that's what we're living in. There are two different perspectives going on in the world right now. Most people are living in the same perspective of a materialistic world where they step on everybody else to try to get ahead. And then there are some that try to help others. And then there's also a third perspective, and that's a combination of both of them. Now, I'm going to give you some information, and I'm not telling you to believe me. I'm just giving you the information. You listen, take it in, do more research, because you may need more information before you understand it, before it all makes sense. And when you're ready for it, then it will come together. It's like putting a puzzle together. And sometimes you don't know. You just keep putting the puzzle together, but you don't know what the picture is until you put the last few pieces in. So, what are these big secrets that some people will say don't exist because they think they know it all? There are no secrets. Ignorant people will say that they have lived life long enough to know everything there is to know about life. And there's nothing more. There's no secret that got past me. That's the ego talking, and the ego wants to keep you ignorant at times. So it's good to put that away and listen to the information. Now, I can't go into it all here. I can just give you a basic. It would take an 8-hour presentation for you to just grasp it slightly, and it's a lot of work, and it requires changing your mind and the way you think. And that may not be as easy as it sounds, because in order to see the world through these two different perspectives, you have to give up one. You have to give up what you consider what built you, what you think you are, and become something new. And that takes a lot of soul searching and work, and it can be very painful, and you can feel like some people have lost their minds without good guidance trying to find this information. So I do say handle it with care, and if there's information that you don't understand, ask me questions. I have studied this for many years. I have gone through all the processes. I know it. And I'm not trying to do it for any good. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm just giving the information for you because I want to share it with you. Now, that's another thing about spiritual teachers. If they're looking to gain off of you, then that's the dark side. And there's a lot of it out there. Those looking to share information without any kind of monetary or personal gain, just to help you, are the ones you should be listening to. Don't listen to everybody, but pay attention closely to their intentions and what's in it for them. All right. So what are these hidden secrets and information? Well, I told you it's about a perspective. But it's also about knowledge, some ancient knowledge that has been around for thousands and thousands of years, 10,000 years or more. And this knowledge is, some of it, there's a lot of it, but some of it is the Hermetic principles. Now, if you haven't watched the video that I've done on Hermetic principles, I suggest you watch that, because these are the principles of life. They are rules that we are bound to. And they have to do with us and the world we live in. And one of these principles is the principle of vibration. That everything is vibrating, everything is moving. Even if it appears to be stationary like a rock. If you put the rock under a microscope and look very, very closely at the atoms in it, the electrons and protons will be moving. The rock is moving within itself, and the electrons and the protons, everything, and it has a vibrational rate because of it. Now, this is a fact. It can be looked at. We can study it. We have instruments to test it. Now, this information was known 10,000 years ago, at least 5,000, when Thoth in Egypt and Hermes and from Greek and Tahuti, the god of writing, put this stuff down and wrote it. Because the Egyptians, we don't have to guess what they thought, because they wrote everything down. They were the most well-documented civilization ever, and we know more about them than we do a lot of other civilizations, because they wrote it down in stone so that we have it today. And this principle about our world was written down in stone in Egypt thousands of years ago. Now, that doesn't sit well with a lot of people, because they don't want to believe that someone even prior to Egypt, because these came before Egypt, this knowledge, this ancient knowledge is what I'm talking about. And people today just don't want to admit that somebody in the past was that smart, was even more intelligent than them, or as intelligent of a society as we are today. That they knew that everything in this world is in motion and moving, including a rock. Now, you might not understand how they knew this 5,000 years ago, but the fact is they did, because it was one of their principles. Only one. There's more. And they're all just as mind-boggling as how did they know that everything has a polarity, everything is mental and vibration, and gender resides. Listen to the video about Hermetic principles. These are some of them. And that's some of this information. Now, you must be saying, well, why don't we know this? Why wasn't it told to us? Well, this is part of the information that's really important for people to know, to have power over you. Now, you may not understand how this is relevant and what it does, and you won't until you do research and get into it and see the repercussions of all this information, because there's more. It's not one in itself. It's all of it together, all of this ancient knowledge. And where did it come from? Now, people may ask, well, why is it kept secret? Why is it so important to keep this stuff secret? Why is it hidden? Well, I explained that some people keep it hidden just simply because they don't believe it. And they don't want you to believe it either. They think it's dangerous if you get more knowledge. And that's false. Knowledge is power. And there are other people that want to have one up on you. And they want to know this stuff so that they can manipulate other people with it. And the queens and rulers in ancient times would be given this information. And it's not easy to obtain. It's not something that you can learn easily, quickly, especially by this one video. And some have used drugs, psychedelic drugs, to actually help to see the other perspectives of life. Psilocybin mushrooms have been used in religions and given to kings and queens to help them understand the other perspectives. Ayahuasca is another drug that's also used and to help people see the other perspective and open up their minds. Now, it's no coincidence that these two psychedelic drugs that I just mentioned, psilocybin mushrooms, magic mushrooms, and ayahuasca, which is actually two plants, a root and a leaf mixed together, boiled down, they make a thing and drink a little stew and drink it. And they're being used to help depression in our society because we're so imbalanced in our society now, and these drugs help us get back into balance by opening our minds to new ideas and perspectives. Now, this you can read about this. Graham Hancock is a writer that got into and explored it more deeply. And Alan Watts and some others, I suggest looking up them, researching them, because there's a lot. That's a discussion for another video, how these psychedelic drugs in the past helped people become more balanced in their life instead of living with a left brain or right brain imbalance. And that's part of the secret, part of the occult, is this imbalance. This is part of the ancient knowledge. This has been known for thousands of years. The Egyptians put people into isolation chambers to get them away, to help them clear their minds, to ease this transition. So like I said, this information is powerful, and we're talking about the mind. And that's why this information, and that's what religions are all talking about. This information that I share on this channel is what all the religions in the world are trying to express. They're all trying to teach the same thing. They have different ways, and there are people that have gone their own way. There is no good religion and there is no bad religion, because some people take religions and use it for evil. Some people take it and use it for good, and it can be any one of them. But it's the knowledge that is being used that if you're unaware, you can be easily manipulated by the people that do know. And we see that with some of these mega churches that are extracting money from people for their own selfish interests. They give some to charity just to make it look good, but they've got millions, and they're not good people. They're condemning others. They're telling you not to listen to other people, and they're just not good people. But yet they've got millions under their power because of this knowledge. Now, I'm not saying these people that do it have evil intentions. They're just ignorant. They don't know it. So they're using it in a poor way, which is not going to help them. Karma is a real thing. If you put out negative energy, you'll get the negative energy back. You put out positive energy, you'll get positive energy back. Now, this ancient information has been known for a long time. And one of the questions that you have to get your mind around is, where did it come from? Was there a civilization at one time as intelligent as we are that knew that if you could see inside a rock, you'd see that it's moving? There's an image called the flower of life. I don't have a picture here, but if you just Google up the flower of life, you'll see it's a geometric symbol made of circles. And this has been etched into stone for thousands of years, from the Middle East to South America, temples all over the world, and they all called it the same thing, the flower of life. And the center part of it is also called the seed of life. And what this is, it's amazing, because if you take a strand of DNA and take a cross-section of it, you'll see that the DNA grows in this same pattern. There are patterns in our world. And if you understand the patterns, You can understand things that you would not normally know. So here we have people 5,000–10,000 years ago drew an image called the seed of life that has, and where they put these things, it was very important to them. These just weren't just scribbles on a cave wall. These were huge reliefs that took thousands of hours to carve out. It was a serious thing to them. And it is actually a picture of a cross-section of our DNA. Now, did they know that? Maybe, maybe not. But they knew the patterns that exist in our world. So they probably did know that everything grows in these patterns. They didn't need microscopes to see that, but they had the knowledge. Where did this knowledge come from? And Graham Hancock is a writer that wrote Fingerprints of the Gods. It's a very good book, and he goes into this. He's an archaeologist, and he studied where this information came from. And was there an ancient civilization with intelligence greater than our own today? And it's possible. You have to be able to open up your mind to these ideas, because they had information. It's very clear. You know, the Egyptians wrote everything down, and they knew these principles of life that most people don't even know themselves today. It was common knowledge then. And this is information they got from people even before them. So keep that in mind. This occult knowledge also leads us to magic. Now, I did a video on magic. I suggest you watch that, because I can't get into all the details of what it is, but in this video. But magic is the manipulation of unseen forces. Now, I'm telling you about these unseen forces now in the Hermetic principles of vibration and duality, rhythm. These are things that a lot of people don't know about, but they're there in our life, and we're bound to them. And magic, some magicians, not the ones you see on the Las Vegas stage, they're just doing what we call tricks, which is really the manipulation of unseen forces. But there are magicians that can manipulate unseen forces that you don't know about. This vibration, these rhythms, these energies. And it can manipulate your thinking. And that's what magic is. And it can be used as black magic, and it can be used as white magic, by simply the intention of how they're using it. Are they using it for their own selfish greed to have power over you and extract your wealth, or do you harm? It's black magic. If they're using this information and manipulating unseen forces to do you good, whether you know it or not, but to help you, whether you know it or not, then that's white magic. If the person uses magic to help others. And when we talk about the occult, this is what people think of. They think of these rituals of people dancing around a fire, doing rituals and black magic. Well, it can be. It can be, but that's not all it is. The people that don't want you to know about the occult and this information will tell you that's all it is. And that's wrong. That's false. That's ignorance talking. Because there is a light side of it. And that's what the religions of the world were built on, to teach you this information. Now, some of them have been corrupted over the years, and they've turned into self-serving. But at the heart and the root of it was teaching you this information about yourself and the world around you so that you can have this knowledge to live in balance with the planet and balance your mind and your thinking and your perspectives so that you are independent and you won't be manipulated by others who do know this knowledge. And that's it. That pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. I don't expect you to know everything about the occult in this video. This is just an overview of what it is, to correct any illusions that people have that occult means something other than hidden. It's all it means. The occult is hidden. Now, a cult, C-U-L-T, not occult, because that's what we're talking about. Occult means hidden. But cult is a group. And the Republican and Democrat Party is a cult. They can be good, they can be evil. That depends on perspective. Now, I hope this clears up some information about this, because a lot of the videos on this channel are going to be discussing these hidden secret knowledge that has been, when I say hidden, it's only because people don't want to look for themselves and find it. Their own ignorance keeps them from looking for it. And there are plenty of the churches, Freemasons, Rosicrucians, the Gnostics are all teaching this. Maybe not in the lower levels, because they don't release all of it. Like for the Freemasons, it isn't until you get to the upper levels that they start getting into more of this information. And they gradually bring you up, and when you're ready for it, then you're given to it, because it can be dangerous if you're not ready for it. People can get confused. They don't even know what's right and wrong. So, if you have questions, ask. Research it for yourself. We're in a day and age now where it's okay to give this information out, because the knowledge is there that you can get help and you can be guided in the right direction so that you do positive things for yourself. And that's about all I want to talk about today, and I hope you have a great day.